Hi, today I'll be speaking to Cornell from Climate. He's a climate change officer. And I'm just going to be asking some questions. What was your pathway to get to your job now?
It was a convoluted pathway, but I have to start from the start, whereas I started my academic research in environmental science and as in climate change science. And then there was, I bounced around the environmental sector. So I've been under roles in policy development with government, science communication. I was an environmental consultant for private sector. And then I eventually ended up in policy development for a group called Commonweal, working on their food and environment policies. And I think all the background knowledge I gained from all those roles, I've been working in a climate change aspect for nigh on 10 years now. So when I saw the opportunity for CEMVO, they were looking at someone who had the knowledge and also had the knowledge of what it means to work in the climate justice sphere. And we particularly work in terms of racial justice and making sure that there's diversity within the environmental sector. So I think my personal background and then my academic and career background brought me to the role I was in.
That's actually really interesting. So what would a day in your life today, at work, what's that like?
Day out as a climate change officer at CEMVO. So most of what I do is talk to people, have meetings with people, have conversations with people. And that is because I work in an area which is deeply rooted in community and grassroots organizations. And it's kind of helping them out with their projects and giving them the resources that they need and the connections and networking with who they need to know and who they need to connect to and what information they need. And I also talk to major organizations such as WWF, RSPB, Friends of the Earth, a lot of the groups under Scotland with helping diversifying their teams, because that's something that they've recently identified, especially after the Black Lives Matter movement. So helping it there and also helping the government with advocacy. So really what it comes down to is just many, many conversations.
Wow, that's a lot of socializing. So what type of subjects do you think helped you get your job?
I think two things. Having the scientific basis for environmental science and climate change, having something to base your knowledge off so you can understand the kind of technical side, but then there's also the courses I took in terms of sustainability and kind of community development, which gave me the intersectional knowledge between seeing where climate change and the actual science behind it lines up with society and economics. And those are the things that really developed my knowledge for this role and roles that I've had in the past.
What would you say to young people that are interested in your field?
I would say it's never too early to get involved. Your best resource is your own motivation and your own eagerness. That'll get you the furthest. Talking to people straight off the bat, telling them what your interests are, set yourself some goals. Doesn't matter if you don't meet those goals, but as long as you're moving towards something, you'll start progressing. And it doesn't matter if those goals change. My goals changed probably 5 times throughout my career. So just keep working at it, keep thinking about it, and reassess where you're at.
Does your organisation have any opportunities for young people, like internships or work experience?
So our organisation doesn't. It basically works off whether we find funding from government or outside services. But one of my major projects that I've just started, so the main project I run is the Ethnic Minority Environmental Network, and we basically work to provide resources, boost trainings, so on and so forth for people from minority ethnic backgrounds. And we're working on a mentorship program. So that's getting people in these specific different areas in the environmental sector, whether that be conservation, specifically in water, maybe working as a B Corp corporation. And we're trying to find placements within those organizations, as well as providing a mentor for about 6 to 12 months to really get them started. So it's not happened yet, but it's in the works.
Wow, that sounds amazing. What would you say was the biggest challenge getting to where you are now?
The biggest challenge is not knowing what's out there. Before this job that I have now, this role, I got completely, so I was probably looking for different positions while volunteering in the sector for about 12 months recently. And that's not knowing really, environment work is such a diverse area. Like you think about accounting and it's like, yes, you can be an accountant for these kind of corporation stuff, but you're still generally doing the same thing. Whereas you've got people who work in conservation, specifically with like particular animals, whether they work in forestry, whether they work with communities, it's all very different. And it's hard to know what you like without actually being within the job for a while. So I think the most difficult thing is knowing what opportunities are out there. And it's hard to know without having someone who's already in there to talk to. And there's not really, I don't think there's a real pathway for that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you need to try it and see. What do you think has helped you most to get where you are?
I think having friendly people who are willing to help you out is the best thing that I've found. I used to live in Australia. I came to Scotland. I didn't have any connections. I didn't know anyone. I started volunteering for a group, Commonweal, that I mentioned before, and I met some people in there, and I had to be proactive. I had to ask people because I just couldn't find any pathways where I could be like, hey, can someone help me out? I really had to throw myself out there, which is difficult for a lot of people. Not everyone can do that, and that's very understandable. So yeah, just talking to people, hopefully they have a connection to another person who may have a role somewhere. And I think the difficult part of that is sometimes you have to volunteer, and not everyone has the privilege to be able to volunteer their time. People have to work, people have to earn money and earn a living, and don't have the time to make those connections. So it's a hard one. The people have helped me the most, but it's hard to find those people, and not everyone can do it.
Thank you, Cornell, for talking to us. It's definitely been interesting.
Well, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure sharing, because I remember being in positions similar to yours and being younger and just being so overwhelmed about what to do and how to do it. So I want to help people as much as I can being in that position.